I'm filming a bunch of these sequentially together in a row after I took a shower, so you're gonna see me dry out progressively, maybe. Look at I'm so bald. I read Uzumaki after like hearing people talk about it and wanting to read Junji Ito stuff for years. I don't know how I feel about it. I paid like $20 for the collection of all the Junji, all the Junjis, all the Uzumaki chapters, and I don't know if I want to do that again. I mean, I liked it overall. It was just the whole story is about this town that is just becoming infested with spirals, and you don't even really know like what the fuck is going on. It's just the first story is a guy that he's the main girl's like boyfriend's dad, and he is going crazy over spirals, and to the point where he turns himself into one and dies. And then when he gets exorcised, he gets fucking incinerated and cremated and shit. His ashes and smoke and whatever form like a big black spiral that goes into the sky and then drops down into a lake that's like in the center of the town. It's fucking that sets the stage for shit that really only gets weirder with little explanation. I guess the whole thing is like there's a spiral curse town thing, spoilers, under the town. And every so often, like they start theorizing towards the end that maybe the town's been going through the shit it's been going through multiple times and just keeps getting like rebuilt, and no one would ever know because the history is just lost. And so everybody forgets about the spiral curse, settles down in that place, and it gets like built again. Because there's some shit that goes on. I mean, pregnant women in this one hospital all start like wanting to feed their babies blood, so they're just attacking other patients and shit throughout the hospital at night using like hand drill things and sucking blood. And then the babies are like sentient when they come out and they want to go back in for some reason. Like one of the mosquito ladies is I think like a cousin of the main character. Kyrie is her name. I remember that because it's the name of Bleach lady that likes John Bleachman, and she has her baby put back inside of her, and it's clearly like bad for her, but she just wants to keep sucking blood, and she ends up eating the doctor that helps her do it. And that doctor's doing some weird shit because there are these mushrooms everybody likes in the hospital that are being put in the meals and are supposedly really good for you. And the reason they're really good for you is because they're the fucking placenta that came out when these weird sentient mosquito woman babies came out. Bear in mind, nothing's going on. Like, nobody's mutating into mosquitoes. In fact, there's even this giant mosquito epidemic going on at the time, and people are like getting sick from being bitten by them and shit, and there are tons of them. And I don't know if they spread this weird disease or whatever to these pregnant women, but they're human. They're just, well, I guess the cousin lady has like a tongue that she sticks into the doctor at the end, but otherwise they were pretty human, just really fucking weird, just like mindlessly wanting to eat people's blood at night. Scary thing is they were probably like that all day and just thought it was safe to be more like that at night. They just acted normal otherwise. But yeah, they're babies, and they were just seemed to be normal, but their placenta were turning into like these mushrooms that this weird doctor was keeping in a room and growing and feeding to everybody. And there are other patients that like discover this and still eat it because it's just addictive, I guess. That's one chapter that I don't ever need in my life again. And there's like a hurricane that attacks, and because you know those spiral, of course it's perfect for this town, and it's sentient and wants Kyrie. Like, it just keeps saying her name and keeps looking for her, and her boyfriend helps save her from it. They have to hide, except at the end they get sucked up into the sky by it and just wake up near, you know, this pond lake thing. I think it's Dragonfly Pond or whatever. The storm gets sucked down into that, I guess, and they just appear near it. I mean, at one point it sucks some other girl up that it thinks is Kyrie and murders the shit out of her and drops her ass when it realizes it's not. Like, what the fuck is this? And why is it obsessed with Kyrie? At one point her hair grows and is like forming spirals, and there's like this school girlfriend of hers that somehow also made hers do the same because she wanted attention, and they end up like fighting over it, but then the hair kills the other girl, and Kyrie's boyfriend like cuts her hair off in time to save her. Like, I don't understand. It's all spiral stuff. People are turning into fucking slugs. I think I scared my cat. Or snails, I should say. Because they have, like, you know, spiral shells. So people are becoming fucking snail people that are apparently delicious, and other people get addicted to eating. Because after the storm thing happens, more storms hit this town, and it kind of happens off panel, but they keep getting like sucked into the lake. So there's 3 storms that got sucked into the lake, and it's kind of a whirlpool now, and it's doing weird shit to like the wind around the place. Like somebody yells or like sneezes or waves or something too hard, it'll just make whirlwinds, and whirlwinds just keep popping up. They always had been this whole time, and then now they're like devastating and destroying everything. And there's like these children that are running around destroying any like concrete structures because they're just little pricks, and they're tied up at the beginning, and Kyrie sets them free. Or no, this reporter does, that's coming in to find out what's going on. People keep coming in to find out why the town is now half destroyed by whirlwinds and hurricanes, and then they get stuck, and one reporter frees these children so they go back on their rampage. There's like gangs and shit riding around in whirlwinds. Like, it's fucking crazy, and people are eating the snail people because they're really good. And throughout all of this, the only thing that's standing in the town are row houses, and people are like desperate to get in them and extend them, and people like live in them and then become weird, gross spiral meatus things that intertangle. And by the end, as Kyrie and like her little squad are out trying to get out of the fucking town, they run into cannibalistic people that eat the snails. Kyrie's little brother becomes a snail, and she has to like set him loose on a cliffside to go run away from these people. And then they just become spirals, because one of them's like, I just love going into the shell and eating them inside the shell while I wrap into a spiral. And then he like cooms and turns into a, he doesn't actually coom, he's just gooning for the whole thing, and then turns into like weird spiral grotesque thing. His arms and legs are elongated and shit. They run into like a couple too that were like star-crossed lovers, and they end up elongating and tangling into each other and slithering off into the ocean. Like, the fuck? All because of spiral things. And like when the row houses are expanded enough, they form like a spiral into the center of the town and where the lake is. And people are just like getting tossed out of the row houses, like corpses and stuff. And they're all just like, hey, can you take this with you while you're leaving? As Kyrie and them are passing by. And they're like, it was hard to untangle him and dump him out. Can you please get rid of that? It smells. Because people had just kept cramming into these row houses because they were afraid of the whirlwinds and gangs that were using the whirlwinds and all the disasters and shit that kept happening. So, but they all became giant meat masses within the row houses no matter how much they expanded them. And yeah, they were like spirally and gross, just like the fucking snail eating people at the end. And yeah, they just kind of, so the main characters just keep going, and the lake, they get to the center with the lake and it drains, and they just go down a staircase, and it's like, oh, there's a spiral town underneath. Not much explanation to it. It's just a spiral town that's there, and it's like ancient ruins, but they look kind of meaty and gross, but they're stone, I guess. I don't know. And that just been causing a curse. Just part of the ruins drill up into the ceiling after they get down there, and it's down to just Kyrie and her boyfriend. That reporter lady gets sucked into one of the row houses because they're going through gaps between the row houses to get to the center, and the gaps are being closed, and she gets like stuck in, and it's probably one of the saddest deaths because you just see her like, oh, guess I'm in this row house with these meatlings now. Between this and Silent Hill 2, everything has just been meat. The meat follows me. Yeah, it's I don't know how I feel about all that, because nothing is like fully explained, and a lot of it's just body horror. That's Junji Ito's thing. Like, a girl has a scar on her that turns into a spiral and that eats her. You see her eye get like pulled into it just because. Like, I guess he was obsessed with spirals, he says in like some afterwards manga panels, but I mean, it was all just for like body horror. There's a lot of shock deaths and things, and that's his wheelhouse. I guess he loves that body horror. But yeah, it was like good overall. It's just that's kind of all the manga was about, was body horror with a very loose story. There was like an anthology series that all were very loosely interconnected with Spiral Curse. I mean, the fucking mosquito chapter with the babies, why are they smart? I don't know. Why do those women want to eat blood to feed to the babies when they could have just kept feeding them like normal when they were pregnant? I don't know. Why do one of the babies want to get put back in the womb? Fuck. I mean, there's also placenta mushrooms. Here you go. I don't get it. It's all just body horror with a very loose story. The author's poorly disguised fetish is multiple. So I'm never reading manga again. Yeah, the art was good. I mean, the body horror was like not gory or anything, just really weird. A lot of terrifying stuff happening. People hallucinating about that father being a spiral. I mean, everybody fucking dies by the end. They get erased by all the disasters going on in the whirlwinds, or they turn into meatlings. Well, I guess at the end, the people that were in the row houses just stayed in the row houses. I don't know what really is gonna happen to them. The whirlwinds don't hurt the row houses. They're like an ancient part of the town that stays for reasons. But what happens to the meat inside? The meat inside, that'll be my album. So yeah, interesting series. Don't expect much out of overall story because it's just there for body horror and like shock and horror and the fucking Lovecraftian terror. So that's all cool. And in that way, it kind of makes it more interesting. There's not like character arcs. There kind of are. I don't even fucking know. The boyfriend is like losing his mind the whole time and is like, spirals are infesting everything. And they're like, what do you mean? And then they find out the hard way. And he knew all along and was like going crazy and losing sleep, but was totally right. So yeah, I guess I recommend if you want to like see weird things. If you want to see weird things, read Uzumaki. I don't have the elite thing to spam. Oh,